Sorry about being late there. High Response Marketing Show, Jake Lorraine here. I'm really sorry about that. Hopefully, most of you are viewing on YouTube, where it's a lot easier to get notified. I freaking can't stand watching lives on Facebook is horrible. Plus, Facebook has changed it now to where if you schedule a live, it's like done as these events instead of however it was before. I don't know, it's all screwy, but hopefully I get more people on YouTube to watch. Good to see you, Earl. I appreciate that. And actually, your cards are on the way. Your clients' cards are on the way. I had last minute. I had lost track of time, and I had to move. I had my camera in the back where I had my little podcast studio, so I had to move that up here to the front. Hopefully, you guys listen to my podcast. I had a nice little podcast the other day that I put on YouTube and also on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. I got to get more consistent with those. I do have 3. I'm going to have Tim Black as a guest. I got to schedule that. I'm going to have Scott Meisner again. That'll be, I think, his 3rd time on the podcast. And Steve Hardy, who just put out a 10K 9x12. I figured I'd have him on there too. It would be good. Should have Arnell too. Huge shout out to Arnell. I don't know if he'll be on here live or not, but he's so if you remember, he sold a liquor store. I don't know if he cold emailed or cold whatever. He just picked up like a 10,000 or 7,500 or something piece mailing, and now they just did another. So he's that's really good. I'm very proud of him because that was, I think, his first big like major mailing client. Good to see you, Ed. Bruce, good to see you. Always good to see you. Yeah, see, I like that. Facebook is so bad about this stuff, but YouTube is good. Oh, thank you. I was wondering if anyone saw it. Freaking, I released the banger video. I risked my life this morning. I shot that this morning. Hope you guys enjoyed that. I don't think many of you saw that yet, but I appreciate that. And good to see you. I'm going to negocio de jardineria, right? I don't know what that means, but I can. I tried. Les Mark, good to see you. I was not super prepared, but I have some good stuff to talk about. Oh, this is old. This one is what I did today. Sorry, just a little. It's been go. Go. You ever had freaking night? I still have nightmares. Every now and then, I'll have nightmares that I'm back to working like a job. I'm back either working at Walmart or I'm selling home improvements. I have nightmares. They pop up every now and then that like I end up having to go back to work and stuff, or I'm like working part-time at these places and it just sucks. And I have nightmares. You guys ever have nightmares like that? It's so funny. Hopefully you can hear me okay. I'm not even using the mic. I use the freaking MacBook now because that way I can do the sounds. Did that go through? There we go. Yeah. I don't know. The less chords, the better. Spicy food. I like spicy food. It is a little rougher on my stomach the past couple years, but I can handle pretty decent spicy stuff. 29 degrees. Wow. In Southern California, I didn't even know that could happen. Had no clue. Wow. It was 26 a high this morning. I think it was maybe like 10 or something early, and then it went up to 26. So you were just around those temperatures. That sounds crazy. I didn't know that could happen. See, I did get it right. I appreciate that. Hopefully my email went through too. I don't know. AWeber was giving me some weird email. I sent my email about the bang. Hope you pick up the December banger. I'm trying to get all the stuff I wanted to show you together and talk about. Oh, I had a good crap. I don't know if I can find it. You guys might have to go looking for it. But there's a good. I didn't even catch this report. It was fairly recent. And by the way, 3.8 billion, I think EDDM has generated since it started. $3.8 billion revenue as of May of last year. So it's probably about 4 billion now or something. I thought that was kind of cool. But there's a report that the post office put out on Gen Z, on mailing millennial and Gen Z. And Gen Z apparently is really strong, like really strong interest, super strong interest in the mail. I believe that too. What is Gen Z? Gen Z is like 98, somewhere around there to 05 or something, or 91 to 05, something like that. There is Gen Z. I'm a really like I'm Zennial, which I think is an accurate, super accurate description. I was born in 81. It's like this. I very little bit of Gen X that I would be know about. I don't really know much about the 80s because I was so little then. But I was basically raised in the 90s. So I was Zennial, kind of like that tail end millennial, but crossing into Gen X. And then you have millennial, which is very strong for the mail too. But Gen Z is like showing really, really strong. Like they are really very, 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 they value the mail. Things that come in the mail are very valuable to them. They like it. And that's great news for us. That is really great news for us. And I believe it. Like my kids are Gen Z. I hire a lot of college students, even high school students. They're all Gen Z. And mail is very cool to them. It's very, very cool. It's interesting. When they get something in the mail, it's very important. You know, it's a physical piece. It's addressed to them. It's very personal. I'm sure like even things like writing letters and stuff will probably really come back. I would think, I would forecast that. I think the mail is very strong for Gen Z personally. It's good to be bangered by Jake. It is. It's always good to have these on. I haven't really, if you guys haven't picked it up, you got to pick it up. The golden opportunity is fantastic. You don't want to miss that. 60s. Wow. Jesus. 60s. That was before my time. Gen X. Yeah, see, I don't like, I know they love that generation stuff, but the 80s stuff is weird. I don't know. I missed the movies are weird and stuff. I like the 90s. That was my 90s and early 2000s, the best times. I try not to live in the past too much though. I'm just trying to go through my list of what I wanted to talk about. I did mention in the Facebook group, if you saw it, we landed a really nice, this is the piece, but this wine and liquor store. We're just cold calling. And the guy was like, yeah, I send these out all the time. This is perfect. Let's do it. 10,000 pieces. It was a nice, and I was a little worried that I priced it too much. And he was like, you're like way cheaper. He's like, you are so much cheaper than everyone else. I was like, damn, I could have freaking really railed this guy. But that was quick. That was fast, like really, really fast. Anyone could have called. I mentioned that Facebook post. You could have called, emailed. This guy would have been going with anyone. 10,000 pieces, wine and liquors. Here's an interesting size piece. I don't talk about this size piece too much, but it's very efficient cost-wise. Do I have a 6x11 to compare it to? So this size is, I'm trying to find one to compare it to. Sorry, I'm not the most prepared today, but this is a tax thing I just did. But this is a 4 by 12. So 4 1/4 by 11 or 4 by 12. It's kind of an interesting size. It's really long, so it definitely stands out. It's almost like a rack card or a door hanger card. It's that kind of look, but then 12 inches is even bigger. 11 inches would be kind of your standard. But these are really affordable. They're very, very cost efficient. They're unique. They stand out. I think that was kind of cool. So I wanted to bring up that size. I wasn't. They run a tax business, and they got a lot of content and stuff, which is great. But it's kind of early. It's really early to do tax stuff, right? And I brought it up to her. I'm like, you sure you want to send this out? And she's like, yeah, I just want to get everyone prepared. I'm not going to argue. I think we've had this discussion before. I'd be turning down business all day if I just told people, this isn't a good time. So something I'll mention, do you want to wait? And if they say, nah, go with it, I'm just going to go with it. I have a guy right now that's doing a CBD mailer, and he's got an online shop. CBD is competitive. It's really competitive. It's like easy to get now. It's not as super trendy as it was. But he's got this shop and he wants to do EDM. He's like, I can't really advertise on Facebook. It's so limited what I can advertise CBD with. I want to try EDMs, and he's just mailing it to like one route, kind of weak offer. And I'm always questioning myself, do I really get into this with this guy over a one route thing, or do I just let him? I know it's probably not going to work out the best. I'm not, we don't know until you test it. And I always tell them that you don't know until you test it, but I don't want to be turning down business all day just because they don't have a great offer, or the artwork isn't great, or they're not sending enough mailers out. Everything okay, MG?
Yeah. Sorry.
No, it's okay. It's all right. Well, you don't want to sing for everyone?
Not really. Maybe some other time. Probably not.
All right. Some other time, Mary Grace will sing for us. She said probably not. Also landed. I think I mentioned this in the Facebook group. My postal field rep landed me a freaking not huge, like one of the biggest real estate teams in New York State, like one of the biggest ones in the whole state. And they're doing mailings monthly. They've been doing them for like 4 or 5 years, and they hire high school kids to ban them, which is like, this is crazy. We're banning these things up and stuff. So I landed that and didn't have to do anything. I love the postal field rep business. They're hard to get. The field reps are hard to get. You really have to do your work to seek them out and get a relationship. But once you do, they will just send you. I cannot even begin to tell you how much business my rep, I've got 2, have sent. It's just, and it's free money, free freaking money. It's just tough. I mean, that's good, but it's just tough when people like do like one route, they're like, okay, how much for 500 pieces? I'm like, oh boy, 500 pieces on EDM is like nothing. It's like, it's not even big enough to really test things, but I know they're not going to do like a 5,000 piece test. So it's like, I'm not going to turn down business. It's definitely a challenge. I hate turning down business. Those are the main things I wanted to talk about. So I was hoping some of you guys would have something for me to talk about. I'm starving. I haven't freaking eaten anything since breakfast. These days go so fast. It's like we've got 10,000 piece mailer, 1,000 piece mailer, 600 something piece mailer that we've had to get done this morning. The mailings there's been so many. There's been so many mailings. I can't even keep them straight. I don't even know the hours, I don't know what time of day it is. This is a good question. Someone had a list of, because I don't know where it is. Someone did have a postal like lookup database thing. It's really hard to find them. You really have to do your work. They are not easy to find. They're federal employees, and they're employed at the federal level or something. They're not employed by any of your local districts or anything. They're like, they work for like the federal part of the post office or something, the headquarters. So they're in even though they're assigned territories and they live here, and they've often had positions that were here, they've worked their way up through the post office. They're hired by a totally different part of the post office. They also changed the names. Let me just look. Actually, I just got an email from mine earlier. Let me see what their name. I think they changed their. No, he doesn't have a signature. They may have changed it from, we still call them field reps, but they changed their territory. It might be like territory representative or something. I can find out. I mean, I can ask. It's very hard to find them. You usually have to, it's not hard. It's not, it's just, it's hard to just find like a list. You would need to go to, you need to ask around your local post office. They're likely going to give you the small business development representative. It's like an SBDR or something. And that's like a territory representative that does small business development. So they consider small businesses like 250,000 and less or something. So they're actually kind of moderately big businesses, but they're still very small in the post office's eyes. And they're really hit or miss. Those guys are really hit or miss. A lot of them are lazy. They do have to call on businesses all the time and talk to them about services like mailing, EDDM, shipping, and postage. But they can be really lazy and not useful at all. But they're the ones who are probably going to have if they're decent, they can definitely send you business, absolutely send you business, and they go through some turnaround. But they're the ones who are probably going to have the actual contact of the field representative. If you're not aware of field representatives, field reps are these people in the post office. Their job is to prospect all day. They have quotas that they have to meet. They have to sell a ton of shipping and mailing, like any postal services. So they are doing like your executive sales level work where they are working they have lists of businesses that are spending a lot of money, and they go after these businesses. So these are your bigger spending businesses, and they will like make appointments. They will work at them for months, for years. They will follow up religiously, and they have to sell X amount like every month. And they have to hit these huge quotas. So they are just prospecting all day. And then there's multiple levels. There's like junior ones and senior ones. And eventually they become ones that just overlook the other field reps. But they make no commissions. They literally just have to hit these high quotas. But they'll sell people on mailings. They'll convince a business to do $50,000 a year or something, or even more in EDDM mailings, and they'll just say, go find a printer. They'll just be like, you just got to find a printer. They just have to sell them on the mailing, and they get a picture of the mail piece when it's done. And that's how they get the credit. So them finding a reliable source, and they're supposed to be impartial. They're not supposed to say, okay, you got to go here, but you can get on their list. They can say, here is a list of vendors that we suggest you call, or that you can call. And obviously, if you have a good relationship, like they're going to have some pretty in-depth conversations with these people. So if they trust you, they will send you business. They will send you so much business, you won't believe it. What print product is lucrative for you? Holiday time. Holiday time, if you're talking right now, like we don't have a lot of time for the holidays, but I guess if you're considering New Year's, you should pick up the Banger. If you haven't picked that up, you got to grab that. It's at highresponsemarketing.com/banger, because there's a really great source of stuff there. But signage is really, really big. Banners, signs, and just mailings are just going crazy right now, because it's the holidays. So they're doing a lot of promotional stuff that will all change in the next few weeks, which is why you should get the Banger, because that's all about what's going to happen in the next few weeks. 1 million or less. Is that what the SBDR or whatever it is? It's a pretty high number. It wouldn't surprise me. Field account representative. That could be it. Yeah. That could definitely be it. I want to say they changed it to like territory or something too. They also started this new one so I have 2 field reps. My main one that was with me for a long time, she has this new position that's like a newly created position in the post office. I'm gonna tell you guys this, and you're gonna be like, Jake, you're lucky dog, you. She's been at for like a year now, but it's this position in the post office where she works from home, and they cold call businesses for these services. So it's all cold calling. So she is cold calling. She has all her field rep stuff that she had sent me for years. And now she does the cold calling. So she calls all over the country, literally have a cold caller from the post office, which has like when the post office calls you, it's much different than a salesperson. And all over the country, it's this small team of It's like a beta program or something, pilot program that the post office has been doing. So I've heard, and then I have the field rep that took her place. It's now been over a year, and yeah, I just get jobs just handed on a silver platter. But they're out there. Make sure they know that you sell printing. Miss Manning was trying to sell me print. God, that doesn't surprise me. Yeah, that's what they want. They just want to print. It's like from the field reps point of view, from their perspective, they do all this work in selling, and then when they sell people on mailing, they just don't have reliable sources for mailing. And but in particular, especially EDDM, because EDM is it's a really good sell. Like they sell EDDM really well, but the prep. So if you can offer the prep, the actual turnkey service, a lot of businesses will do EDDM, but they don't want to do the prep, or they're scared of the prep. They don't know how to do the prep. And that's a real struggle for postal reps, because it's a struggle for business, and they don't have like a source to send people for the actual prep work, like so that they don't have to actually do the mailings. So you being able to offer full service EDDM, fantastic. How do you approach telling about your next mailing? If you send email, I'm not a huge emailer, just because I don't like. I do plenty of email, plenty more than most. But to me, it's not a huge. I'm not a big emailer, because I don't like the spammy aspect of it. As far as like I don't want to get my accounts blocked. I don't want to get into that spam mass email stuff. So I'm very selective on email, and I try to email when nothing else will. Like if there are businesses that I cannot reach over the phone, or we cannot reach over Messenger, or it will go email. So I try. That's really how we contact any businesses, is trying to figure out. We spend a lot of time on prep, trying to figure out, okay, what businesses are going to be best to call, what businesses are going to be best to email, what businesses are going to be best to message. So I just want to get that out of the way. That I'm not like this huge, I'm very selective emails. And because I'm so selective, we have very high rates of success when prospecting, because the prep work is so intense. There's so much prep work. I have a lot of scripts. I'm sure you've seen scripts, but it's generally, I just want to see, and we're run a small local print business. Have you thought about doing any kind of mailings, or what kind of advertising do you do now? We have a postcard that's going out to X amount of homes. I've shifted a little bit from saying X amount of homes to areas. It's going to these areas, because then I don't have to pin down numbers. I don't think they really care about numbers. If they do, they'll ask, is that something you'd like to be on? It's very simple, I don't like walls of text. Very frictionless and very open-ended, because the goal really on email, in most prospecting, but particular on email, is to get them to read it and inquire back a question. If you send them too much information, you will lose them. It's good that they ask you questions. So how many is this going to? Where's it going to? When's it going out? What's it look like? Who else is on it? How much is it? Those are all very interesting questions. And then you can call them too. So if you get a response over email, you can move that to a call if you are more comfortable over the phone. Like I like to follow up with phone calls personally, because I'm good on the phone, but there's less of a chance they can say no. Like an email, they can just not reply and stuff. Whereas a phone, I have much more shot of getting yes, and also getting lots of information. I think the more information you get, the better. You can hear if they've tried something like this before, who they tried it through, if they have a good experience or not. All that is very, very critical information that you can't usually get over an email. So I try to move that over to phone conversation. That's just my way of doing things. There's the new one, so you should pick that up. But I think I've only missed 1 month the whole year, which was September. I can't answer. Wait 1 second. Mary Grace, JJ call me. Do you have his number? Can you just see? Can you text him and just tell him I'm? Yeah, I don't know if it's something like super important or something. Let's see what he wants. Can you text him?
Text him.
Well, you want to say hi?
Sure. Hello. That was nerve-wracking.
I don't know. He just called me, but I can't take a call right now.
Wait, but who is it?
JJ.
Oh,
Can
okay.
you text him?
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know if you had his number. That's all.
I kind of said I didn't know what.
It's all right. It's okay. I have before, and I don't know, they're weird about that. Like they don't. I could. I probably haven't put enough effort into that. I should. So many freaking. I'm sorry, but I don't know how to mute I don't know how to mute them all. I don't know how to mute these messages. They probably hear the thing beeping and stuff. What's that mean? Marketing channels? I love Messenger's my favorite. I love cold call, email, Messenger. But once you get it going, it's organic. You just have a lot of referrals, and over time, you have to go into new areas, new business, which I have a product coming out too on new business marketing. Not new movers, new business marketing. Dan asks, hi Dan, do you try to get mailer advertisers to commit to a series? If I was doing mailings often enough, I don't do them consistent enough. It's very hard for me personally to stay consistent with mailers, to have them out every month. Mine are sporadic, so I can only tell you that now they're too sporadic for me to assign people to a mailer consistently. So that's I don't want to tell you something different, but it's good. But committing people to a series is fantastic, because if you have a mailer going out all the time, you want to. And Scott Meisner, he's probably not, I don't think he's on here, but he's been doing really well committing people to like 12 months. Like he's been on, like, I think it's a 12-month kick. 3 months to 6 months would be normal if you've got your mailers consistently going out. But he's doing 12 months, which is pretty wild. Any constant continuing advertiser is going to be, they're going to be good with it. He right back?
Yeah.
Oh.
He said that he just needs the order by 2:30.
Oh, okay. So yeah, 1 hour. Do you want to put whatever has came through since yesterday?
Yeah.
Could you do that? Whatever has came through yesterday at 3 p.m.
Okay.
Anything plus YCA. Thank you. I wish I had more freaking I just didn't. The day I didn't even remember it was Wednesday. Sarah told me earlier. She's like, "Don't you have your live show today?" I'm like, "Oh crap, yes." And then it was like 12:50, and I didn't even have the camera. I didn't even have it over here. It was in the back, so I had to send. And I still had to send an email. Did you guys even get that email? I don't even know if you got it. I don't even know if AWeber is sending my freaking emails. I really should find how to find these field reps better. I really should. I should figure that out better. I'm just looking through my stuff quick. Like this guy, he wants to do this freaking CBD thing, and it's gonna bomb. I know it's gonna bomb. But what do you say? Like you're not gonna get any people on your postcard? Like, what do you say? I don't even know what. I'm just gonna let him do it. Yeah, didn't get a freaking email. Unbelievable. Can you check your spam, Norn? I don't like. I just feel like I sent out the banger email, and then I sent out the show email. They're not even showing any statistics. Like normally I can see how many were sent. It's like hanging. So I don't even know if it went out. Probably none of these emails. Did anyone get an email from me today at all? 0% opened. Not one person has opened Marketing Show 1. So that can't be right. Not one person. Or did it just send or something? Freaking so annoying. When you need something to happen, it doesn't happen. No, I would never get rid of AWeber. You know what happened? Years ago, so I started with AWeber. And I have very high open rates. Like I'm Probably because I don't mail a whole lot, but I have really high, like sometimes 50, 60%, huge high, anywhere from like 30 to 60%. I would say probably 40% is a normal open rate. It's very high, very, very high for a marketer's email list. And it started to go down. And I was like, there's all these other solutions and stuff. And I was like, okay, you know what? I'm going to go with something new. Aweber's kind of outdated. And I went to Drip. And I was like, whoa, this is so much better. So I had all these fancy triggers and it didn't double charge you like Aweber does. And my open rates were freaking sky high. And then they just started dropping and dropping and dropping and dropping. And I kept reading about people like they don't use their own servers and stuff. And they changed their servers around and stuff and it dropped. And eventually it was like not. So I went back to Aweber. Open rates shot right back up. And Aweber is just like it is a rock solid. Aweber is solid, and I like solid stuff. And my open rates are generally really, really high. So they've made a lot of improvements. I have not one bad thing to say about Aweber. So I will not be getting rid of Aweber, but I appreciate that. Dorn and Lucy. I don't jump to the next thing because you think of all these email services that remember they sell these freaking marketing product email things on WordPress plugins and stuff that wouldn't they totally freaking blacklist everything and they're not around the next year. See, Dan, I think there was a problem with Aweber. I think Aweber had an issue. What Bruce say? I got an email. Okay, you just I wonder if that just came. No, that was what I sent earlier. I sent that like a couple hours ago. Big order, but great profit on it. $83. Just gonna do 50%. Send me influence crazy ad for $5. Some of these local printers are freaking so high too. They have to be. They have so much freaking expensive equipment, and business is slow for them. You know, it's tough. Well, no, I wouldn't say business is slow for local printers. The ones that are left are probably doing pretty good. I think most of them are doing okay, but it's a constant issue with equipment. It's constant trying to compete with online, which can offer better paper stocks. You know, if you're getting print from a local place, you're often dealing with much cheaper, thinner card stocks. You might not be able to get UV coating. It may be really long turnarounds because they're trying to gang jobs up and they don't have the kind of volume that online printing would have. It's a very tough game for most local printers, and they're not salespeople. They're not salespeople at all. So they just take orders that come and they don't go out looking for business, which is why we have such a huge advantage. I think I've told this story before. One of the first printing deals that I sold might have even been the first one. I was selling a 9x12 card spaces, and this guy in my local town, it's an old factory, but it's a multi-business thing, and there was a tanning salon. And it was just going up, like it wasn't even open yet. And there was some people in there. It was a Saturday, and I stopped in, and there was these two guys, and they were like, and I'm like, "Are you the owners or whatever?" Is the owner there? And talking to them, and I don't think they bought a space for some reason, but they're like, "Oh, you do printing?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And this is where it started to click for me, I think, where I was like, "Oh, I can sell printing." And they're like, "We really need business cards, we need this stuff." And then it turns out that he owned a psychologist, but he was a psychologist, but he was opening a tanning salon in the same building. But he had this big like ADHD autism thing, and I ended up like selling. He's like, "I need a bunch of stuff there too." I ended up selling a ton, like these brochures, new logo, I designed new logo, all this stuff. But what was so interesting about this was that there's a freaking print shop literally across the street, Presto Print. It was literally across the street. It had been there forever. Across the street is a print shop, but they are so busy, they don't have the time to go across the street. And this is the struggle of most business owners. By far most. They don't have the time to go across the street. They don't have the time to go freaking try to get a designer and go talk to the print stuff. So by you going to them, you can pick up a ton of business. No, and most of them have been around forever. You know, their buildings are deteriorating. It's an old family business. The press is deteriorating. That is a dying industry. Not printing in general, no, but the like mom and pop local printer, I would not get into that. That basic business model of just let me put up a print shop and people are going to start coming and buying stuff. AWeber kicked me off sending email to my own email. They suck. AWeber is, I think, very depends on what you sell, I guess. And I don't know, I'm like they're very by the book, so which is you might have to go on these shady email services or something. But I try to do my best with them. They have really good support for me. For me, they're good. Dang, Fred, I wonder if you're on you should be on my main list, right? Oh, well, that is so you got the YouTubes, but you didn't want to check. Fred, can you send me an email? Can you just send me an email? So just so I remember and have your email, I'll check, make sure you're on the list. So annoying. AWeber is a freaking pain in the butt. It happens. This is the kind of stuff that happens with freaking the internet. I got my podcast up in the podcast players and showing. Luckily, it goes out to Apple Podcasts and Spotify, but I can't get it to show up on the WordPress post. It doesn't. I don't know. It's hidden, so it's always something. It's always freaking something. CSS code or some nonsense. Hate that. Just got the email. Weird. Do you have a 9x12 template you want for 9x12 ad template? Oh, ones I've used before. You should, but make one in Canva. The one I would have would be pre-Canva before I was really using Canva so much. It'll be Photoshop, but can't make one in Canva. If you struggle, I'll make one for you. Canva is the way to go. You whip up these ads in like 3 seconds and they're beautiful. Freaking beautiful. Holy craps, Greg. Pazarina. We've been talking marketing. I showed a cool piece size, 4.5 by 12 or 4 by 12. That's a kind of a cool EDDM size. A lot of people don't know this size exists. It's long, it's lean. It's kind of a cool thing. I was also showing this wine thing, and we cold called and got 10,000 piece mailer, just random cold call. It was like real quick, ready to do it. Field reps, we're talking about you, postal field. I don't know, a bunch of stuff, Greg. It's really good to see you, buddy. Did you buy a new Mac Studio? Did you upgrade your Mac system? Yeah, I'm on all Mac now. Everything's Mac. I don't touch a freaking Windows PC anymore. I can't believe you guys didn't convince me to go to Mac earlier. I love it. And you know what I love? Are the multiple desktops. I can 3-finger swipe over and just go to these multiple desktops. Oh, I love Mac. Oh, you're doing share B2B too. Very nice. Sticky seller? You're doing sticky seller? That's my favorite. Business cards. You got your man right here, Greg Pazarina. Greg Pazarina, you're going to send him a message. Greg Pazarina, Rob Smith too. Either one of them, but I'm going to send some business Greg's way. Greg is fantastic. Greg has been around since the very beginning. He's done many 9x12s himself. He's from Philadelphia. And I'm not putting down Rob Smith either. They're both fantastic. Rob Smith in here is top-notch designer as well. Both of them are designers. They are full-time designers. They will make absolutely beautiful artwork, Corey. Freaking unbelievably good. But you can also make these things in Canva yourself too. If it's like really cheap business cards, you're selling something, just make them in Canva or have your client make them in Canva. But Greg Pazarina, it's with 2 G's, and Rob Smith are really, really good. I almost said Rob Thomas, the freaking, what's that guy? Matchbox 20 or something. With the freaking earring. No, elite membership, you guys subscribe. You guys subscribe-o. Printing pricing in the back. Oh, yeah, because that's for discounted printing rates for elite. HighResponseMarketing.com/elite, I think. You gotta be elite member. Just came through. I don't know. AWeber slow. Freaking slow. Oh, Corey, it's your first live. Wow. Dang, good to see you. You're in good company. I didn't know that was your first one, Corey. Oh, thank you, Earl. Appreciate it. I need to have a link that does the thing. You won't listen. What, Aweber? I'm not switching Aweber. It works good for me. I'm sorry it worked bad for you. I really feel bad, but as long as it works for me. Oh yeah, nice. Yeah, see those golden opportunities. This one's a really good one. Yes, that's it. That is his email. Isn't it sad? Greg found us the when we go way back 10 years ago. Actually, more than that. Remember we put a product together too? Easy Print Profits. And we made a remember the sales pages and stuff? And we put like freaking sports car, we put like a Lamborghini and all the cars and stuff. Fire, there was fire because I had an upsell of fire something. And that was like over the top. It was remember that, Greg? That was so much fun. It was like 2012. Easy Print Profits. It was probably I'd be scared to look at the prices though then. You know, everything was so much freaking cheaper. But I had so much fun. So anyways, Greg had been around since the very beginning, and Greg found us this other designer dude because we had so many people doing 9x12s that we couldn't keep up with the design. And he found this guy, Gary Hummel, who did such good work for so many people. And then he died. He freaking died a few years ago. I still get people, where's Gary? Gary's not answering my emails. I'm trying to get this and that done. And he passed away. You get 9x12 mastery. You got a whole bunch of stuff. I have to send you the sales page. Plus you get these bangers. You got to be on the thing. Oh, the Mac. Oh, the Mac you were talking about. Yeah, no, I was so hard headed about that. I'm like, I'm not jumping on this freaking Mac bandwagon. Like I have one. I thought the mouse was always one button and everything was backwards. And I am a Mac. Oh my God. I get on a PC because we still have PC in one of the back offices, and it's a pain. We use it for shipping labels, and it's so weird now. I love Mac. I love Mac. I've got the iPhone, a MacBook Pro, MacBook Air, iMac. Everything is Mac now for me. Oh yeah, you struggle with that too, huh? My daughter's Sienna with one end, so they always want to say two ends. Yeah, you remember that? That was a really good product. You could probably still go through that product today and it would still be just as good. I probably should find it. Print Profiteering. Oh my God, Print Profiteering. That was a really good course. It is not available because I am in the middle of Print Mastery, which is like total update. You know, it was same as 9x12. Like people are still buying the original 9x12 system I made in 2011. While it's all still relevant, like prices have changed, techniques have changed, things have been finessed better, and it needs a refresh. Like eventually I have to refresh this stuff. And Print Profiteering, as good as it was like 2013 or something. So it was a good freaking decade ago. And while the content is probably still there, it's just not available. But Print Profit, I remember making that. It was like 110 pages. And I wrote it in like 2 days. I just freaking stayed up till like 3-4 a.m. writing it. And it not even big margin, like very small margin, full. Like it was a book because I thought that you had to make the more the more content, the better. And I was selling it for probably $20 or something, and just totally underselling myself. But that was just a ton of information. I was very proud of that product. I still remember those graphics, Greg. They really had the fire and the freaking cash everywhere. Oh, I love that. Those are good times. Yeah, it does. The AirDrop, that's what really sold me is AirDrop. I like now that you can family share the photos. I like the iCloud, freaking iCloud for the whole family. So everything is I can put everything on my iCloud. The computer could break today. It doesn't matter. It'd be back up and running the next day. All my files are in iCloud. So they're all, no matter what computer I'm using. At night, I like to go on the MacBook Air. On the day, I'm mostly on the Pro one. And then sometimes I'm on the desktop and stuff. And it's all my files are there. It's all on the freaking cloud. Love it. I love it. I use certain apps. I know the gestures and stuff. I'm getting so good at it. the command center. Is that what it's called when you swipe up all your fingers and you just see everything right there? Command Central or something. Yeah, unfortunately, it's sad, but prices 9x12s, 10,000 9x12s, I think about 1,900 right now, and it's, I mean, just like 2 years ago, it was 1,250. Like I didn't change the price for like the whole time. Like I think I started selling 10,000 9x12s for 1,100 or 1,050, and then I eventually had to raise it to 1,250, and then in the past year and a half, just everything has gone up so much. Shipping, paper, everything has gone up so much. It's just hopefully it has all stabilized, and I don't foresee anything. If there is something goes up 5% or something, I try to hold off on these things, but I am like, the prices I give you guys are right down to like the wire. And I try to price everything so where you still have a good 30% that you can margin that you can add in there so you can still make your profits. And I think of what I sell my clients for, and I always try to make sure that you can sell your clients for the same amount. So if I'm selling something for $1,800, I want to make sure that I can still resell that to you and drop ship it to your client or to you, and you can still sell that for that 1,800 or something that I would sell the same thing for. Thank you, EJ. I really appreciate that. I really have to get back on these podcasts. I really do. And I've got some really great, these 3 interviews will be really good. I really got to get on that. I didn't think anyone would want to listen to the podcast for a while because it was like audio, but people really do love listening to podcasts. And make sure you're subscribed on Apple Podcasts, Apple or Spotify, whichever one you use. Yeah, AirDrop is fantastic, man. Just AirDrop everything. I love it. I'm going to sign off soon here. I still have them all. Oh, thank you, Earl. I appreciate that. There's every now and then I'll go into my archive thing and see the amount of stuff that's on there that I've put out, and it's all good. And sometimes I stumble across things and I'm like, oh wow, holy crap, I forgot I made a thing about that. I've also made a bunch of like bonuses over the years and little tiny. In the summer, I try to put out a guide every week. There's probably a bunch of guides that you guys have gotten and you've forgotten about, like consulting, the Supersonic Marketer. The consulting one was really good. The Supersonic Marketer, print from scratch. So many. But I just try to make everything I make. I try to remember the real estate trap funnel. I try to only put out stuff that will last a long time. Like I don't like to put out anything that I feel is going to be irrelevant in the next years. And I probably should break out of that habit and just make stuff that's well, that's kind of why I make the bangers too. It's stuff that's working right now. Maybe next year that might be different. And sometimes I discover things. What they take it, and they take. I guess that's a problem of being on Apple. It's the same thing with Microsoft, where they go freaking at their mercy. I better not take my AirDrop away. That's one of the things that sold me on freaking computers. It's also nice when I like record things. I can record audio here and just AirDrop it to the computer. I'll edit and stuff. It's so easy to AirDrop stuff. There's so many features in Mac that are fantastic. One nice feature you might not know about is the PDF thing. You can make a PDF just in your Finder. You can just select the files and make a PDF out of stuff. You can also compress images right in the Finder. It's really convenient. The spacebar preview is really nice. Shelf is one of the most frequently used apps I use. It's called Shelf because I had trouble with Windows. I was so used to like you can't cut and paste in Finder and Mac, and that was getting through the Finder was a challenge. But Shelf is really great. You just wiggle your mouse or wiggle your finger, and it brings up the shelf, and you can just drag files into the shelf and then drag them out of the shelf. It's like a little bucket. You can put files into that bucket and then move it wherever else you're going. I really love that app, and I use the free one. The free one is, after a while, it makes you just wait like a second or 2 seconds or something before you can use it. I haven't buckled down and paid for the thing yet. I use Shotter for screenshots. I use Rectangle, but I don't really use it that much. That's an app I use. Some clipboard app that I use for pasting. I think it's called Pastebot. and I paste a lot of addresses. So when I'm sending out EDM mailings and stuff, we're pasting addresses all the time, and to get them into the right fields, I use a sequential paste, which has been tremendously savings in time. That's an app I use. Yeah, I'm leaving too, Corey. So it was really good seeing you. It was super good seeing you. I really appreciate you showing up. I'm going to sign out in a second. Oh, thank you. They're all good. They're all super good. I mean, I'm very proud of the podcast, and many of the people are still doing it. So most of the people, like the interviews and stuff, are still out there. Wow, nice. Yeah, I know. I need to get up on that, especially get the freaking interviews back. I gotta get on that. All right. Well, I really appreciate you guys a lot, and thank you for taking the time to watch my live shows. I try to never let you down. I think I've been on a run. I think I've only missed one in the last, since I restarted the podcast or the live show. So I appreciate that, guys. I'm going to sign out. I'm freaking starving. I got to go to lunch. And then back to the mailings. Back to these freaking mailings. Okay, guys. If you have any questions, email me or whatever. It's been great talking to you. And Chrome, yeah, I agree. Chromebook is not bad. Sarah uses Chromebook because it just pops open easy. She'd be frustrated using a Mac, but she does love iPhone. She does like that we switched over to iPhone. All right, guys, pick up the banger if you haven't already. I would appreciate that support, and you'll really love what's in there. I will talk to you later. Have a great weekend and everything.